Hey guys, welcome back to Woods Tree Farm. I'm Phil, and this week we were talking and we realized this is our 5th year planting Christmas trees. And we've had 5 full years in business, but it was in the spring of 2019 that we planted our first trees. It was these trees right here next to me that were the first ones that went in the ground. These are some Norway spruce. The biggest ones in here are maybe about 4 feet tall right now. But there's something with these trees, not just these, actually all the trees in the field, that we have overlooked repeatedly. And every year after we shut down for the Christmas season, we think, well, that's a perfect wintertime job, we'll do that. And then we find plenty of other things to do. For example, this year we decided to build a kiln for drying lumber and firewood. So here we are, almost springtime, ready to plant again, and this job still isn't done. All right, so what we're talking about today is basal pruning. That is trimming off the lowest branches of the tree. Some people say you're creating a handle for the tree. Basically, you're taking off the lowest branches, so for a couple reasons, but obviously if you're growing Christmas trees and it needs to go in a tree stand, you don't need those lower branches anyway. With those branches removed in your field, you can easily spray around your trees. You can see where the trunk is as you're mowing around the trees, and it just helps you have a much better or much cleaner experience with your trees. So we've never done it, and the other benefit that I've heard some people say is if you're taking off those lower branches, that's just some energy that the tree that you're freeing up for the tree to focus elsewhere on its growth. Those lower branches, which you don't need, if it's putting energy into growing those out, that's just energy that could have been used growing the tree upwards or outwards. So if you're trying to get your tree to market as fast as possible and this helps, might as well do it. So today I'm using these Kelco shears. These are bypass shears. One thing about these bypass style shears is that you can get a closer cut on one side than you can on the other. So with this style of cutter, you're going to end up going around the tree so you can keep this closer side to the trunk. So I'm going to end up going, clockwise around the tree. And I've already done a bunch of these today, and I realized I should have made you a video. So let me show you what I do. All right, so here's the last couple I did. You can see that, and we're nice and open on the bottom, up to about 10 inches off the ground. Here's another one. All right, so I just showed you the spruce trees. I think if you grow firs, they'll be pretty much the same. But now I'm over here with our cypress trees, and these grow so fast, I think the basal pruning is even more important on these trees. Now, these trees we got as quart-size transplants when they came in a year ago. They've more than doubled in size since they've been in the ground just 1 year. And when we first got them, and these plants were, 12 to 18 inches tall, we trimmed the lowest couple inches off. But when they triple in size in a year, those lower couple inches doesn't really make a difference. So here's kind of a good example. This one has a branch that's come out and ran, almost parallel to the trunk a little bit, and this would have branched out and made a big section of the bottom of the tree. So we want to take this out now so that these other branches can fill in and they'll become the bottom. So my other camera battery died, so we'll use the phone for a little bit. Obviously you can see the sun's going down. I finished up a couple rows of those cypress, and then I wanted to come down here to the other side where we have the larger cypress, because I know I can show you. Oh, we got some geese flying in. In for a landing. All right, so I know I can show you some cypress in here that we didn't get to basal pruning, and we'll go ahead and do a couple of them now, and I'm sure we'll find some where some of these lower branches really grew up the side of the tree and will create a hole. But it's okay, these trees will grow probably 2 feet this year, and we'll be able to trim up the bottom of these trees, so and then hopefully will fill out and they'll look okay. We'll see what this one looks like when we clean it up. Here's one that's already uneven on the bottom, so we'll see what it looks like. So there's my clippings just from one tree, and you can see there really opened up the bottom of that tree considerably, and I don't think it took away from the shape at all. And hopefully this tree has a little bit of extra energy to put into height, because it's only about 5 feet tall right now, and I would love to be able to sell that next year. You see that? There's one all the way at ground level going out. These branches are so big, should be easier with some loppers. But I think that's why you want to get this done early. Way easier to do on a small tree than on a near full-size tree. Look in here, we already started interplanting some of our new Murray cypress where some were cut. And all we did this year is, see if you can see it right here, there's a stump from last year right there, and there's one over there, and we just went right in the middle. So we did that this whole way down. There was several right here, and then there's kind of scattered around. There's several others that we interplanted in here. This is the most visible section of our field. As people enter from across the pond over there, this is what they see on the other side of the pond. So I wanted to try to keep this full. We already had, over the last couple of years, several plantings of Lelands and Murray cypress right here on the front of this hill, this first 5 or 6 rows or so. And as we start to harvest through here, we'll just continue to do the same thing and pop some new trees in and try to keep that looking nice. The rest of the field, like where the pines are, I wouldn't mind, many of those pines could be culled because they're just not good looking trees. But as we start to harvest some of those, I wouldn't mind just clear cutting that and starting fresh and doing something different up there. But for the other rows up here where all the cypresses are, definitely are going to keep that full for now. So it looks great from across the pond. So that's basil pruning, and something we need to spend a lot more time doing, and I think there's a lot of benefits to it, particularly when it comes to spraying for weed control and mowing, and it's easier to see if the trunk of the tree is staying straight and all that kind of stuff, which is more of an issue with the cypress than anything else. They seem to really want to go crazy, so you got to keep an eye on them, and the better that we can see that trunk, the better that we'll be able to catch some of those issues. So I think those are some of the many benefits of basil pruning. It's a little bit of work, something else to do, but that is all right. So thanks for watching today, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.